Of course, all murders are evil and horrifying. However, there are some that leave a different impact on us, both with the way they are processed and the secrets they leave behind. Here are 12 terrifying examples of such blood-curdling murders. Camilla Lyman, a famous dog breeder, is a wealthy reclusive woman who underwent gender reassignment surgery between 1978 and 1985 and became a man. Cam met George O'Neill in 1981 and hired the young man to protect his property and dogs. After some time, Cam's family, who receives Christmas cards every year, begins to worry about Cam's situation when they do not receive any mail. 1987. After the family appealed to the police questioned O'Neill and received the answer from the young man that he had not seen Cam since the summer. The matter remains this way for that day, and Cam is officially declared dead 8 years after the incident. And 2 years later, the new owner of the mansion finds Cam's body in the sewer. Although the murderer was thought to be O'Neill, this murder was never solved, and O'Neill always denied the murder. Mario Amado wanted to have a quiet vacation with his brother and girlfriends at Rosarito Beach in Mexico, but things didn't go as they expected. Mario, who was first arrested for fighting with his girlfriend, was found hanged in his cell hours after his arrest. Initial speculation was that Mario was beaten to death by police officers, and the incident was covered up. The autopsy confirmed this because it was revealed that Mario died as a result of trauma. However, the true nature of the incident and those responsible have always remained a mystery. A police hotline in the US state of Illinois receives a suspicious call on October 28, 1991. A mysterious man calls the police, informs them of the location of a woman lying unconscious, and abruptly hangs up the phone. Paramedics arriving at the scene found a woman named Jamie Santos, a stripper, dead in her home. It turns out that the woman, who struggled with her killer for a while, was strangled to death with a pillow, and it is thought that the person who did this was a customer of Jamie's, but the incident was never clarified. While Dick Hansen and his girlfriend are chatting in the car before leaving after hanging out together one night, a car pulls up and parks behind them on the empty street. The duo starts their car again and sets off. After a while, they realize that the car behind them is following them. They drive on the highway for a while, trying to evade the following vehicle, and then they exit the highway and park their car. The mysterious vehicle doesn't lose track and parks right behind them again. Dick gets out of the car to talk to the person in the following vehicle, and the man in the other vehicle fatally wounds Dick with a gun. When his friend Gene sees this, he gets out of the car to help and vaguely sees the killer walking away. The reason and responsible for this murder still remains a mystery today. Returning home by car after a night out drinking alcohol, Arnold Archambault, Ruby Bruguier and Ruby's cousin Tracy have an accident by falling into a ditch for an unknown reason. When paramedics arrive, Tracy is pulled from the car injured, but Arnold and Ruby are nowhere to be found. The bodies of the duo, whose disappearance was unknown, were found on the roadside 3 months after the incident. Arnold's body remains decomposed, but Ruby was recently murdered. What happened that day is still unknown. Jack Davis Jr., a student at Indiana University, was found dead in a stairwell on campus in 1987. The police's first thought was that the young man fainted, vomited, and choked on his own vomit. After the incident, the family called a doctor and investigated the cause of death. They learned that there were no food residues in their son's lungs, and that there were fractures in 3 different parts of the young man's skull. As a result of this information, the case is reopened. But since no more evidence can be found, the secret of the incident cannot be revealed. An author known as the Circleville author, whose real name is unknown, wrote a letter to a woman named Mary Gillespie in 1976. In his letter, he states that he is aware of the secret relationship of Mary, a married woman, and that he will use violence if she does not end this relationship. A few months after Mary received this letter, the woman's husband was found dead in his car, and Mary's brother Paul was held responsible for this murder. However, when the letters continue to arrive after Paul is arrested, Paul is released from prison and the real person responsible for the murder is never found. One day, Blair Adams, a Canadian construction worker, begins to suspect that someone is following him. The young man, who exhibited erratic behavior for a while, withdrew all his money from the bank and tried to cross the American border, was not admitted to the USA on suspicion of being a drug dealer because he had a large amount of money with him. After some time passed, Adams managed to cross to America with a rented car. After traveling from city to city in the country for a while, he stayed in a hotel in Knoxville for one night and was found dead in the morning. It has never been solved who killed the man, who was naked from the waist down and had American dollars scattered around him. Will Hendrick is a student studying at the University of Idaho, USA, in 1999. One night, after attending his friend's party, he disappears and many rumors begin to circulate at school about his disappearance. One night later, his car is seen in front of a friend's house, but the next day it is not there. A few days later, Will's car is found in the city center, and it is noticed that there are no signs of breaking into the car. 3 years later, Will's body is found in a rural area of Idaho, but no one can figure out what happened. The US state of Oklahoma was shaken by the chilling death of Eileen Conway in 1986. Eileen's body is found in her car in flames, and her husband Pat states that he is sure it was murder. The incident is ultimately described as an accident, but Pat has solid evidence that it was not. Pat was not at home at the time of the incident, and when he went home, he saw that the iron was on. Eileen's wallet was in the house, and the open tap was filling the bathtub. Predictions are that Eileen encountered thieves who broke into her house, and that the thieves killed Eileen and made it look like an accident. But what happened that night was never understood.